Hey everybody, Whitney here, and I'm really excited this year for spring, and I thought I would do a mini makeover. Now, as you can see, I have my little bunny. I use him every year. You've probably seen him before if you follow the channel for any length of time. So I like to make him a new piece once a year. A couple years ago, I did this little cabinet right here. It's a side-by-side that had some damage, and so I just made it more like a garden side-by-side and worked with the damage. I put a little pot for the base to take care of where the leg used to be, and anyway, there it is. This year I want to do another mini makeover. And so I have this display cabinet right here. You can see it. The front part is very yellowed. It's hard to see, but there's some damage at the top. It looks like it might have fallen or dropped. One of the corners is kind of bent forward, and then it has a little bit of issues on the base as well, but that's okay. This will be a nice piece to do a little glow up. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paint it. I want to do it in this color called Calypso Mint. This is a satin finish, so I'm going to spray a couple coats on it, and then I'll probably do a matte finish clear coat just to protect it. Once it's all painted, I actually kind of like the way it looks, but I do still want to remove that front lucite piece, and then I'll remove the 3 separating bars in the front and probably only put one back when I'm done. So I'll go ahead and remove those. You can see the yellow peeking through. Then I'll remove that piece, which actually turned out to be a little bit harder to get out than I had initially anticipated, but I did it, and then you can see what that looks like. So the next step for me is I want to paint that with a contrasting color, and so I'm going to go with this rose pink. We're just going to go ahead and really paint the center, all of the shelving, the front of the shelves as well. All right, and then once that's all nice and dry, I took some washi tape. I have this tape I've had for a long time, so it's good to use it. And I'm gonna just do a little bit on the front of both of the bottom shelves, just to the front of where the glass will be. And then I was gonna put some on the top too, but I decided to leave one blank for interest, and then I cut down another side and just did a little zigzag pattern, and I went ahead and put that in as well. All right, and now what I want to do is really start to decorate it. The theme for this is going to be a floral shop, and I have a lot of garden stuff and a lot of different stems, floral stems, and I thought that this would be a really great time to use those. This is actually a package that's left over from one of my Roll Life kits. These are all the things that I didn't use in it because I made some modifications, so I have that. And then I went through, and you can just see here, look at all this extra stuff that I have in my stash, and I could really use quite a bit of that, so I'm just going to pick out some of my favorite things here. And I've got more pink floral, and then I have this other one too that has more garden stuff in it, and some, again, stems and buds and flowers, so I want to use a lot of that. All right, and so this part is always difficult for me to kind of talk about and explain, because I think that it could be boring to just watch me move stuff around and pick this up and do that and whatever. So what I do though, just so that you know the process for me, is that I start manipulating the items that I want. I separate them, I start placing them into the display piece, and I move them around quite a bit because I really want to make sure that the way that I'm placing them, it makes sense, and that it looks really pretty, and that it really fills up the cabinet space. And I haven't put in the piece of glass back yet because I think it'll be much easier for me to keep that open while I'm putting stuff in and taking it out. And then once everything is in the right place and all glued down, then I can put the front glass piece back in. Some items I do want to show you really quickly. So Michael's was having a 60% off of their spring items, their spring minis. So of course, when I came across the mini section, I was like, I don't mind if I do. So I grabbed a whole bunch of items. And what I'm really happy about is that these are going to be used right away. So I did buy these little resin flower pots, because I know I can use them in today's project. They had a little box of macaroons, and I thought that would be cute because, a lot of times you go to the floral shop and they do have other little small gifts that you can include with your floral. They had these little jars right here with glitter, but they all have seed labels on them, and so I thought that would be really super cute to be used somehow in today's little floral shop display. They also have these adorable little glitter bunnies, and I definitely want to use those. Then they had some carrots that I bought. I don't know if I'll use them in this, but I can definitely use them with my other display that I have. They had these little spring bunny gnomes, and yes, those jumped right in my cart also. And so those are all the newer items that I used. I also have these little set of doilies. These were sent by a subscriber, so I'm so grateful. I'm going to use several of those today. And now, like I said, I just play with the piece. I move stuff around, I see how it feels, if I like it or not. If it doesn't look right, I move it. And then once I figure out where I want all the different pieces and the items that I'm actually going to use, then I will start using my mini hold or glue or whatever however I'm going to use it. Displays like this, where I know that I'm just going to pull them out every year and use them how they are without the idea of really maybe adding too much to, I do glue down. If I feel like it's going to be an item or a display or room block with the intention of adding to it later, of course, then I don't always glue stuff down because I might move it around. But usually holiday stuff, I tend to glue down, to be honest. All right, so now I'm just placing stuff where I think it will look good, adding baskets, adding eggs. I'm also using some Spanish moss in different colors, in purples and greens and different shades of green. I also have these Easter prints right here. This is by Dragonfly International. They have some cute little Easter stuff on here, so I'm going to cut out that little box. It's a little house box. I thought that was super cute, and it's the right size to go on the display cabinet, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that down and glue it, and then I'm going to use that little house in the display. Okay, and then now everything is in its place. So I have some floral down there, I have eggs, I have bunnies, I have gift boxes, some gift treats, all of that sort of stuff, and it's all ready to be displayed. Now I just need to take my new piece of glass, which is just basically a piece of plastic lucite. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it down, and you can see it's reflecting off of my light. Then I decided, as I was saying before, I'm just adding one separator to the front, because if I add the other two, it's kind of take away from the display, I feel like, so I'm just leaving those off. Now on the sides, I want to add a little bit of a decoration. It's looking a little too plain, so I have these. They're called flake stickers. And I bought this at a Japanese dollar store called Daiso, and they're just lovely. They have tons. If you live near one, I highly suggest going. They have so many good crafts there for very inexpensive. And so this one is just floral design. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off some of those stickers, and I'm going to start placing them in the little squares on both sides of my little cabinet. Stickers are really great if you have a hard time with painting. Initially, I thought maybe I'd paint something there, but again, I also have mini stickers that I've collected, and I thought, why am I not using them? I need to use these. So that's what I'm going to do. So I figured out a pattern for the stickers that I really liked, and then I just put them on either side. Now, if you're a person who really likes a pristine look, you could stop right here and not go any further. But I like to rough up some of my pieces a little bit to make them look a little used, I guess is maybe not the right way to say that, but it's for a rabbit. So I do like them to be a little bit shabbier. So I'm just going to take my paint color called Chestnut, and I'm going to lightly brush on a little brown, and I'm going to use a paper towel to quickly wipe away any extra paint and just get some of that brown a little bit in the creases and around the edges too of the floral design on the sides. Because in my mind, this little flower shop display is being run by a rabbit, and maybe the rabbit keeps the floral display outside, and so it's gotten a little bit dirty just from being outside. I'm also going to add a little bit to the top, and then sometimes after I paint on, I do take another paintbrush with just water, and I just kind of blend any areas out that I think have a little bit too much paint on them. And if you do it pretty quick, it blends well. You just definitely don't want to wait till it dries. All right, and then the cabinet is done, but we're still going to add some stuff to it. Now, my sister Rachel, she sent me this fairy sign. This is like a fairy garden sign. It's made out of metal, and it says Home Sweet Home. And I want to use this. This is going to be my floral shop sign. I didn't want it in the green, so I just went ahead and spray painted it white. And I covered up the Home Sweet Home. I'm going to attach it right here to the side of my floral shop display counter. But before I do that, I want to add some color. So I'm taking my same rose colored pink paint, and I'm just going to paint on where the little lights are. I'm guessing that those are where the lights would be, right? For the pole, I'm going to paint it in like a jean color blue, and I'm letting the white shine through a little bit, and even some of the green. It's okay. Again, I kind of want it to have a little bit of a shabbier feel. Once that's all painted and nice and dry, I'm going to attach it to the side of my display just using some hot glue. Now I printed up a little sign that says Floral Shop. I'm going to add that to the white part of the sign. And then I'm taking more of those flake stickers, and I'm adding those to the sign as well, just to give it a little bit more fun details. Now what I want is to make it look like some vines are kind of growing up and over the counter on both sides of the counter, but I want them to go all the way up that sign and then into the light boxes and then have some flowers dangling down from those little light boxes at the top. This is also going to act as another way to add more glue and secure the sign to the display. Since I just used hot glue, I'm going to need a little bit more security to keep that sign standing there for longer periods of time without falling off year after year. I also added a little bit of Spanish moss to the bottom of the light of the sign as well, again, just so I could add more glue and additional security to the base. All right, now that the side where the sign is now all done, I'm going to add just a little bit of growing vines on the other side, not as many, just a little bit in that front corner. And then once that's in place, I'm going to smear a whole bunch of my glue across the top of the entire cabinet. And then I have this pink flocking, like these little fake pink flowers. I'm going to sprinkle some on the top of my counter and then a little bit on the side where the wet glue still is. So it looks like there's some small little pink floral that may be growing up the side in that vine. And then some of it is on the top, maybe from where our little Mr. Rabbit has cut flowers and designed some beautiful bouquets for his clients. Now I want to add a few other display pieces to the front area of the cabinet. I have this piece here. It's a little table. It's a potting table. It came in one of those Another Roll Life kit that I wind up not completing. So I had all these extra pieces and this was initially yellow, but I did do a quick spray of it in white. And then I'm going to sloppily add a whole bunch of my pink paint, the same color, the rose color that I used for the interior of the cabinet. Not really going to worry about if it's even or anything, just really slapping it on. I want some of that white and even some of that yellow to kind of peek through. Now this piece also has some glue stuck on it, which is fine because I'm about to cover all of that up with some more accessories. I thought this would be a really great table to add those seed jars that I bought, not only because they actually did not fit inside the actual display, but I think that they actually look cuter on the outside where you can really see them. So I'm going to glue some of those in place. Of course, I'm adding a little bit more of my purple Spanish moss. I love using that stuff because it's such a great filler for these type of things. I also have been using a whole bunch of little mini eggs. I don't even know where I got those. Those were probably in some stash that I bought, but they are craft plastic eggs that you can get this time of year. And I'm going to add another one of my little bunnies that I bought. And I think I'll add some of those resin flower pots that I bought also. So that is nice and filled. Ooh, I love using things that I buy right away. All right, another thing that I spray painted was one of those gold metal bird cages. I was spray painted it white. They actually come in white and they come in lots of colors. This one happened to be brass and I didn't have a white one, so I went ahead and spray painted it. And I'm going to add a little bit more of that Spanish moss and a couple little eggs inside there. There is a bird that hangs inside that came with it, so I just removed it, but I'm going to go ahead and place him back inside the cage. I'll try to bend that little hook back as best I can, and I'll put him on top of the counter. And I'm pretty sure I have a cute little bow, so I'm going to add a little bow to that, and he'll go ahead and sit right there. Now this little pink chair, this is from Mini Brands. I think it's an adorable little chair. Of course, it's way too small to be 12 scale. It could be used like in a children's room in a 12 scale bedroom, but it's more like half scale. But in this case, I'm going to use it as like a plant holder. So I'm going to add a little bit more of my Spanish moss. I'm going to glue that in. I'm going to add one of my new little resin plants that I bought today, and then I'm going to add a little egg in there too. And there we go. Now I want to add a few more accessories to the top of the counter. I want to make it look like Mr. Bunny here is getting ready to maybe cut down some floral and make an arrangement for one of his clients. And I want to add a few other accessories. So I added a little bunny next to my little bird cage, and then I added another little egg. And I've got some floral fabric here. Again, it was a leftover piece from one of the kits. I'm going to add that to the counter and add some lilies. And then I do have a whole bunch of flower buds that have no stems. So I just want to add a few to the countertop, just kind of laying around, like either that they broke off from another arrangement that Mr. Bunny was making, or maybe they fell from trees or something around wherever the floral shop is sat in the woods, is where I'm guessing, in Bunnyland. Then I want to add a few little vases. I have this little white vase, but then I also found this cute little blue pitcher, and I thought that that would be fun, that could be used as a little vase. So I'm going to add a few little stems to that. And then I added also a little green ribbon onto the countertop, and I did glue those things down just so it would look like he was in the middle of making an arrangement like I was saying. And the last thing I want to add are these gorgeous little butterflies. These were sent to me by my sister also, my sister Rachel. Again, she sent me a ton of miniatures, and I definitely want to use these amazing little butterflies. So I'm just going to add 3. I'll add 1 to my lamppost with my sign. I'll add 1 to some of the seeds, and then 1 to the bird cage. And I think that we are done. Oh my gosh, you guys, I don't know about you, but like I said, I am super excited about spring, and I'm really happy about how this turned out. It's so fresh and fun, and it has all the great spring colors. These are some of my favorite projects to do. But I love to hear from you guys, so let me know in the comments, what spring projects are you working with? I'd love to know about them. If you haven't already subscribed, you guys go ahead and do so you don't miss any future content. I am working on a start to finish kitchen right now that I think that you guys might really enjoy. It is in a loft style. I'm really excited about that. It's coming up soon, and of course we still have the Willy Wonka master bedroom that I'm working on, and the next child that I will be featuring, of course, is Mr. Charlie Bucket. So definitely subscribe if you haven't so you don't miss that, and of course many other upcoming projects. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It means so much that you would take the time to spend watching my videos. It's very, very humbling. So I really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you next time. Bye.